Welcome, everybody, to the Daily HiFi Podcast. We do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. We don't have an Aaron today, but we have a Joe, and we have a
That's
Chuck,
me.
and we are the dynamic duo. That's right.
Yeah. I thought you were going to do that new intro.
What's the new intro?
I don't know. Didn't you just write something down on your
That was for
phone?
Instagram.
Oh.
That was for Instagram to promote that we are live. We are live.
Yeah. What's up to the folks out there? What do we got here?
Tim Perry, Larry, Victor, Marv.
What's up, Marv? What's up? Ask Matt.
Anxiously awaiting, aren't we all? Michael, what's going on? Everyday Jay, UK Spawn is in the house. What is going on?
What's up, everyone?
That's right.
All right.
Well, what did I do? I
don't know.
Whoa. We're getting crazy. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. There's a lot going on. I know I had a great weekend. Went to a wedding yesterday. If you saw my Instagram story, there's a little shot of me and my little cousin. It's so funny to call her my little cousin because she's like, 15 years younger than me, but she's like an adult. She's a total adult.
Right.
So, you met her. She came and napped at your shop.
Snoring. She was snoring when we were doing our stuff.
Yeah.
I guess we're not that interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm interesting. I think what we're saying is interesting, but she obviously did not. Straight up snoring. Yeah. Like that's no joke.
Yeah. What's up? We got
Youre Bad Everyday, Jay.
What did he say?
Look at him.
That's about Target. Oh, JR, what's going on?
We have fun here. We have fun.
Yeah. No, that's what it's about. If you can't have fun, and you're in the wrong spot.
And look, I'm drinking coffee on the podcast. How unprofessional of me, huh?
Oh, I know. Which should we start with the rant? Should we start?
I don't know. You can start however we want.
All right. So look, I want to. We're going to address a few things. Let's address the fact that, when we do these podcasts here, Joe, where are you right now?
I'm in my office.
Yeah, which is in your home,
my house.
Yeah,
home.
I am also in my. Well, I'm in my mom's house, but you're also in my home, and sometimes Joe's daughter comes running in, and we stop what we're doing, and we're like, oh, hey, it's very cute, very lovely, and she says hi and all that stuff. Is that too unprofessional? I mean, you're in your home, I'm in my home. If I'm eating,
well, I guess they expect a certain level of professionalism because we're presenting something here on this platform on YouTube, and people are spending their time watching it, so they feel like,
I don't know.
That's what that's their side. Okay. I think
that I understand that. I know one of the guys said something about dining table. He did buy our toolkit, so thank you for buying the toolkit. But here's what's interesting, because the sacred dining table, man, there were times when I sat there for 4 days straight in the same pajamas making the toolkit files, like straight up at the dining table. So maybe I stunk. But you know what? If it wasn't for that, because he said, I go have a better home theater experience now. If it wasn't for me being me and me doing me, this wouldn't have been there. Yeah. If it wasn't for Joe commenting on my Cedia video, we wouldn't be here. I think it's a matter of, like, you need to understand, like, yeah.
Well, there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons, right? So here on this particular podcast, we're just keeping it real. We're just talking and hanging out every single Monday. So got to keep in mind. And some days, 4:00 comes around here and maybe you haven't eaten. So if we're here for an hour or so, yeah, you can wait. You can wait for later. So it is what it is. And so it may not be the most professional podcast, but we never claimed that it is. And on our own videos on our channel, we're not eating on those videos, right? So just got to keep in mind, this is kind of like we're just hanging out.
Yeah, it's essentially. I mean, you could call me the Brad Pitt of AV. You know,
Yeah.
I'll always just be eating. I did just pick up some more snacks, even though I did eat beforehand.
Oh, wow.
But there's just times professional. Yeah, there's just times that just doesn't happen. Like I can't get food. I haven't eaten all day, you know, because there's like 20. You don't know what it's like to be a content creator. Or, you know, there's all kinds of stuff happening. Let alone all the personal stuff I'm going through with right now. There's also that.
So I guess, you know, they don't want to hear about that.
No.
But you know what? I'll just say it like this. If you're somebody who doesn't like that and you don't like this style, you don't have to watch. You know what I mean? Just tune out. I don't care. I'm here for the people who do like what we do. I'm here for you guys, right?
Yeah.
You guys who like what we do, I'm here for you guys. And everybody else who doesn't like me, I probably don't like you either. I like myself that much, man. And I like Chana. So if you don't like what we're doing.
Yeah, you know, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You know, people are used to different things. And Scruff says he looks like Brad Pitt from 12 Monkeys. That's funny. He was all weird looking in that one. I wonder if he was eating in that movie. I forget. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So anyway, what do we have here? Let's see. Fresh hater Jay hating on the haters. Yeah, exactly.
Man. Bodie in the house. My Lions are in the NFC Championship game. Not sure if they can beat the 49ers. Yeah, see, we got football talk. We got people from Michigan chiming in. Victor says, all good. My kids do the same stuff. True voice of reason. Let's address the fact that it'll be 2 weeks before another subwoofer Saturday workout. So I did. I hadn't DJ'd. I hadn't done a DJ stream in a while. So I started off with 3 hours, and I ended up DJing for 6 hours on Saturday. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. True voice of reason was there. I think he left and then came back and was like, "You're still here."
What did you eat during those 6 hours?
Did I eat? No, actually I drank. I went through a bottle of red wine in that 6 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So I guess that's professional.
Yes. Well, it's a DJ. It's a party stream, you know? And if TV/TechnoDad55, if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, won't cost you anything. And then you can stream it, the session into your Apple TV or whatever. Go right into your AVR, upmix that into Oro 3D, and just party out. You know.
Hey, we have a super chat from Bodie, so I think it's a good idea to address the super chats as they come in. You know what I mean? Like if we're in the middle of something, maybe finish that and then address the super chats right away, just because they deserve it, right? So thank you, Bodie. He's also part of the Daily HiFi Crew, so he didn't have to do this. He's already, we already talked in the after show. But thank you for the support. He asks, will having speakers behind an acoustically transparent screen pose a challenge or make it a bit difficult to measure with Magic Bean software? And the answer to that is, I don't know that it makes it difficult, but you may find some interesting things, you know? So when something's behind an acoustic transparent screen, typically what happens is it reduces the higher frequencies. I mean, that's normal. The higher frequencies can't get through the screen as easily as, mid-range and the bass and all that. But what I found that's interesting is, what you'd probably want to do is kind of raise that level back up, right? You want to make it more neutral. So if it's reducing the treble, well, if you don't do anything and you're sitting at your main listening position, you're going to get less treble than if you didn't have that speaker behind that screen. The other thing that's interesting, though, is you may not exactly notice that when you're measuring, from certain distances, like near field, you may not see that as well as if you back up. The other thing that I noticed is I've done some of the calibrations with a speaker behind an AT screen. And what ends up happening that seems kind of counterintuitive is if you measure close, you may not see some of those higher frequencies, but you will see them as you back up. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Wonder what that's caused by. And I think what is happening is some of those higher frequencies are actually bouncing around behind the screen and coming out in a wider pattern. So as you get further, you may actually get some of the higher frequencies coming back out. They're not fully absorbed, right? You would expect them to be kind of fully absorbed, but some gets out, and you may notice that you actually get a little bit more treble as you back up, but it's not coming in the same direction, you know, as it was near field. It's kind of like bouncing around, I think, and some of it comes out. Now, I don't know. I'd have to test more speakers and see if that's exactly what's happening. That is what happened with my home theater setup. I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't think it makes it more or less difficult. It's just that the results are interesting, right? What you might find is a little bit different because of this.
Okay. Scrapper True Voice. Is there like a normal attenuation of a screen? Is there
a normal attenuation? Well, you want as little as possible. Yeah, this question here.
Yeah.
Normal. I don't know what the normal attenuation is, but typically you want it as little attenuation as possible. And I would say, if possible, maybe higher up in the frequency response. And I think what I would probably hope for is something where the attenuation isn't like jagged, right? Like if it attenuates something, have it attenuate at a constant rate so that you can boost that back up. If it's like doing some weird stuff and causing comb filtering, then it gets tricky. Like, how do you EQ that?
Right.
And it's tough to tell. They don't always show that sort of stuff when it comes to buying these screens. So maybe that's a test for someone to test acoustic transparent screens and see which ones do better.
Yeah.
What else? Real quick, before we were talking about that super chat from Bodie, there's somebody impersonating me.
Where?
Over email. Like they're emailing a bunch of companies and asking them to send them stuff. And the email is joeandtell.audio@gmail.com.
No way.
If we're doing that, man, they suck. They suck at life because it's not cool. And then so companies are emailing me like, hey, so you emailed and you're interested in this. I just want to make sure it's the right email. I'm like, nope, that's not me. So I had to change up my on YouTube, my channel thing says, if you get an email from this, that's totally not me. So I already reported them, but I don't know how far that's going to go. So any companies that get an email from joeandtell.audio@gmail.com, just respond back with a middle finger emoji.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best way to do it.
That person's probably getting some stuff. They're probably getting.
Yeah, and these companies are like, hey, they're looking at your channels thinking like, hey, we're going to have something on Joe's channel. And then all of a sudden,
hey, what's going on?
Nada. There's nothing
they're
at
just
all.
spamming everybody. I'm getting all kinds of emails back.
That's so messed
anyway.
up.
Yeah.
It's pretty messed up, man.
It sucks. It happens. I'm not worried about it.
It's the internet.
Let's see here. So yeah, if a company gets an email from them, don't send them anything. And it's kind of suspicious that they're saying, hey, can you send this to the Ukraine? I'm like, I'm not, where I'm at, right? In Southern California. So
fake Joe. I mean, this is the thing. This is definitely a thing. Like I even told my mom, like, hey, look, if somebody calls you pretending to be me asking for money, don't send them anything,
or with AI stuff.
Well, yeah, with AI, and you and I, we have a bunch of I have over 800 videos on my YouTube channel. I'm sure I've run the gamut of every word possible, and they've got my face, Well,
just tell them. Just have a secret, phrase that you say. Like
I told my mom to just hang up and then call me.
Oh,
because then we can figure that out right away.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So I have the HTP1 in for review, and I haven't reviewed it because my BenQ projector actually stopped working.
It broke. I'm like, yo, when are you gonna do something with this thing? He's like, dude, I can't see anything. The projector's gone.
I can't see any. I need to be able to see stuff. So anyway, yeah. But I had an early version. They sent it out like I was probably like one of the first people who they sent these things out to. And a lot of times, like when they send out these early review samples, sometimes they're not like the final firmware and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But they were real cool. They sent me a new one. I still have to send back the old one. So they didn't ask me to send it back first. They just sent me one. And they told me basically if anybody is having an issue, let them know. Any issues if you have a BenQ HT4 550i, let them know and they're going to take good care of you. That's what they told me. They'll send you something and, make sure that you're not without a projector. So that's kind of cool. Marv says it's time to try Epson. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'm down to check out all the good stuff. So anyway, HTP1, I'm excited to try that out. Actually, Magic Beans has support for HTP1 already.
Oh, look at that.
So not only does it support...
Wait, is it out? HTP1's out, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been out. So the HTP1, I'm talking about the monolith 16-channel processor. And so that has Dirac already. We've supported Dirac for a long time with Magic Beans, but I'm talking about the manual PEQ that you can do. We can do manual PEQ and completely bypass Dirac if you wanted to. Some people want to do that on the HTP1. So I'm excited for that. Yeah. $4,000. Isn't that crazy? 16 channels, has Auro 3D support, which is like the combo that's hard to get, right? Dirac live with I think it already comes with the full version of Dirac Live, the full range, and then you still have to buy Bass control. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
I had to buy the XLRs for this thing.
I picked it up and I was just like, oh, this thing's light.
It's light.
Amplifiers are there as light as all, it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see what else. We have some new stuff. Yeah. We have some new stuff for the Spatial Group YouTube channel, which we haven't put up yet. We have to make some stuff, but why don't you guys check it out? Let me put a link here.
Oh man, you guys!
Can you bring it up?
Love it. What do you mean bring it up?
Can you bring it up? Just show it.
Let's see.
I'll post it here.
I don't even know. Oh, here we go. Is it live or do I need to show it in
the back? No, it's not live, but we'll post it very soon.
Okay, hold on. I gotta switch accounts. Oh man, I can't do it on this computer.
Okay.
I have it on this computer.
So yeah, check it out. youtube.com/@Spatial Group. I think that you need those capitals there. But yeah, check it out because we're gonna be posting some more stuff. Chana, you did the Upmix version of what was that?
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon.
the Star Wars / A Bug's Life.
Yeah. So you remix that and you have a download that people can try out on their systems. Yep. I remix the 007 shootout scene.
Yeah.
In different ways. So we used our Upmixer. I remixed it with my own sounds. And recently, who was it that told us about the Netflix stuff?
Oh, it was HD movie source.
Yeah, HD movie source. Shout out. And he said, hey, Netflix offers this thing where you can just download like the source stuff, like the source video and the ADM BWFs, which is like
essentially it's a Dolby Atmos master file. So
okay, so it's a master file. And so we took those and we upmixed some of their original videos, and you can compare them with the actual Netflix version Atmos mix. So if you have the version of Netflix with Atmos, right? So you have to pay a little more, which I was hesitant to do for a while. I have it, but now you can compare them and see what you think. Turn off your ear level speakers and compare the two and see if what's happening in the heights is impressive on the original compared to the one that we have with our Spatial Group Upmixer.
Proprietary Spatial Upmixer.
So yeah, we'll post on that channel, and You can download it. How do you play those things?
It's going to be an MP4. Okay. So it's going to be a lossy MP4 Atmos, Dolby Digital plus DD plus JOC, if you guys really want to be technical about it. It is the codec that they use that, you know, Apple TV will send over to your for all your spatial anything Atmos coming in, that this is the codec that's being used. And you'll have to play it on a it'll play on most Blu-ray players. Sorry, Panasonic owners, not for you. I think a Roku Ultra. I have one here with a USB port. It'll play on that. Any kind of media player like a NVIDIA Shield with Plex or Zapedi, Revolution, Dune. What are all the other ones? I don't know. Anyway, it's an MP4 that has Atmos. You'll have to download it, but make sure to follow the Spatial Group YouTube channel so you guys know when that video gets released, and then the link will be in that YouTube video. So there's some cool stuff. I mean, one of them was kind of weird. One of them, the animated one, was really cool.
That one sounded crazy, right?
That one was awesome. So the animated one's pretty awesome. The one with what was it called?
Meridian,
like the cops and stuff like that. It was okay.
Yeah, whatever. I just picked one to Upmix, so
yeah.
This is that animated one. Kind of looks crazy.
Dude, the anime. Oh, you got it. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom.
There's all this stuff going on.
Yeah, no, it's that one's pretty dope. That one's pretty dope. Maybe, you know what? For those of you in the spatial audio calibration toolkit, what is it called?
Our Discord group.
Discord. Well, we'll post those in the Discord first.
Okay.
So you guys get the and Mike, I know you can't do that. I answered you in Discord. You can't. That doesn't work.
Yeah. So here's a
TV, Mike. You might be able to plug it into a TV and e-arc it or arc it over to VR. Try that. If you have projector, then I don't know.
Or install Plex if you have some kind of Android based something, because Plex can play that, and you can run a Plex server on your computer. So you just install Plex server, you know, tell it where to find all the files. So you have to be a little bit, you know, computer savvy.
Hold on, let's jump into this one. MJ3 says, "What up, fellas? I'm checking in from Detroit, Michigan. It's been a few months since I checked you guys out. Hope all is well. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. And how are you doing? How's Detroit?
MJ3. Yes.
In the place to be. Giddy up. All right. Another one here, Chris, right? Good evening, gentlemen. Do you see AI being used for speakers and AVRs in the future? Or are they already doing this to calibrate rooms or to customize speakers for room acoustics?
All right. So Chris Contreras, AI. I mean, some companies just use that term on everything, which is basically like you're taking a big data set and you're trying to make your best guess based on like all the data that you have, right?
Right.
The problem is it's kind of like an average, right? So I don't know that it's useful. So if you wanted to calibrate a room, what Magic Beans does is it actually just figures out what your room is specifically. Right? You don't want one that's kind of like based on other people's rooms. Like, I guess that's better than nothing, to take an average of like what is everybody's rooms doing. I guess, but it's not that hard to just find out what it should be for your specific room. You may have an edge case scenario and you don't want an average where it's incorporating people with an acoustic transparent screen if you don't have one, right? You want it to be specific to your situation. You spend all this money, right? You want to make sure that your system sounds as good as possible for your particular situation, not something that you're kind of guessing at. AI is good at kind of guessing and putting things together.
Guessing and sounding official.
Yeah, and sounding official, yeah. I don't think it's useful for that particular use case.
Maybe not yet. Maybe, a few years down the road. JR, I don't get why AVR and processor manufacturers don't incorporate a bigger front display panel on their products. Too much real estate is wasted, in my opinion. Yeah.
Well, I have this one. I have the NAD T778. It has this nice display in the front. I think it looks cool, and it's touchscreen, so you can actually go through the menus.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of handy. Like if you're, somebody's watching something and you want to change a setting and you don't want to like bring up the on-screen menu.
Yeah,
kind of handy for that sort of thing. And it looks cool when you're, playing music through it. You can choose like VU meters. So this one actually does have a pretty big screen. I think, if you're gonna spend this type of money, it should look kind of like cool, I guess. You know what I mean? Denon and Moran stuff has looked the same for a very long time. So,
yeah. I mean, if you look at Marantz, what do we got? Like, this is all you got. That's all you got.
The porthole.
Hate that porthole design. I mean, I know. I'm sorry, Mike, and whoever else has Marantz that's hanging out in here. Yeah, I understand your frustration, JR, especially with something that's like $4,000, $3,000. You know, like I want a bigger screen. I can see my Denon front screen from here, and I'm at a pretty steep angle, but I can see it says PC and it says stereo. You know,
for sure. You know what? They're gonna sell a ton more if the newer version came out and had a nice display touchscreen. You know, OLED on the front, like a Denon Marantz with a new screen.
It's party in the back, OLED in front, party in the back. What is this?
Right? I gotta bring this one up just as an example of what a new AVR should probably look like, right?
Oh, it should look like the Hi-Fi Rose thing.
Like what?
The Hi-Fi Rose.
That's right.
Look, dude, I have one of these. I haven't unboxed it yet because
that's how it should look.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Look at
Everything
that.
has a screen. And you know what? Come on. Are screens really expensive now? I don't think so.
Look at that. That 150 is.
Look at that. The whole thing, right? I still want volume.
Yes.
At least the volume knob.
Yeah.
And power button.
Volume.
Don't take everything out.
Maybe a selector. Maybe a selector knob.
Yeah, selector.
They don't need to be giant, like this giant, massive thing. You know, like it could be a small knob.
And make it metal.
Yeah.
Like
if it's notched.
Yeah. Make it metal and make it something that if you drop it, like it makes a loud sound type of metal. Don't make it like coated like plastic with a little bit metal, No.
Yeah,
solid metal.
Jed brings up a great point. I never used any buttons on the front of my AVR. Yeah. I barely put the flap down on the Denon to like do what I'm using the remote, man. What's going on? But the touch screen, when it's a sexy touch screen like that, though,
I use it. Yeah,
it makes you want to use it.
I'm looking at it right. I'm kind of curious how many people use the headphone jack on the front.
I don't know. Headphone jack?
You're laughing. It's something.
I haven't used that in a while.
Well, there's always a headphone jack on the front of the AVR, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember on the old school receivers, you may actually use the headphone jack, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna plug it in, your cassette or turntables right there. So you may just sit and listen that way. But I don't know how many people still do that. Yeah.
You got some, fancy headphones. You want to get to this big starred one from 406?
Go for it.
All right, here we go. UK Spawn. Question. When we say the phase is inverted around the port tuning frequency of a sub, is that caused by the port itself, or is it in the crossover design or something else?
I think it's just the nature of the port. If you think about like what's actually happening, speaker goes in, air goes out, right? That a port and a passive radiator are pretty much the same thing. They're tuned to a certain frequency, and they play sounds generally, from that frequency and below. And so you can think of a port as I don't know how you want to call it. It's just kind of like what a passive radiator does. Yeah. And so if you ever seen a passive radiator, you push in on the woofer, the radiator goes out. It's hard to say radiator. You push on the passive, and the woofer comes out. So they come out in opposite ways. Same thing happens with the port, right?
It's actually, but the port is meaning it's the other one's sealed, right? The only way that the, what do you call it, the radiator?
Yeah,
I can't even think of the word. That's a sealed enclosure. The ported enclosure is a ported enclosure, meaning there's air.
But they do the same thing. They call it, like, you can think of the port as an air spring, you know?
Air spring, okay.
So basically they are out of phase. Luckily, you don't get cancellation because the port is tuned at a frequency that the woofer is not actually playing. But typically it is out of phase just because of what I'm saying. You push in, air comes out, right? At kind of like the opposite time. I don't know about opposite. I don't want to be like, don't take this on the technical, I'm just trying to simplify it. But there are ways around that. Like there are cabinets where they're like transmission lines where the port is super long, right? So that what comes out is in phase, but that's requiring the air to go real far. So, I think that should answer the question. It's not based on the crossover. It's based on like the nature of the thing. I think, somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong, Joe. But I'm not going to correct you.
I do have the speaker design cookbook.
Speaker design cookbook?
Yeah, loudspeaker design cookbook. Let me show you this. I had this as one of the things I wanted to talk about. Okay. I just bought this book just because I've heard a lot of good things. It's expensive. Look, hardcover, $124 for this. Oh yeah, you told me. Textbook. It is. It does look like a textbook, but this is something a lot of people recommend, and so I'm hoping to learn some stuff from this. I bought this 8th edition. The 7th edition is much less expensive, but this one claims to have something about DSP. Mm-hmm. So I was interested, right? That's what I do, DSP stuff. So I wanted to see if they had something there that was, something I've never heard before. And unfortunately, it really wasn't. It's all stuff kind of like use REW. This is what Dirac does. This is what Odyssey does. Kind of an overview, but nothing there that I thought was something I've never heard of before. I could probably look online and find out about that. But when it comes to loudspeaker design and the question that was just asked, I think they're going to go into great detail about, how that all works. And I think that's helpful for someone who does review speakers like myself. So anyway, $99, still expensive, but let me show you guys something if you're interested in this. If you go to...
You have a coupon code.
Yeah. So for that particular website here, you see this? ccwebshop.com. It says discount code VDC20. So I saw this on Audio Science Review, and that code still works.
I had to zoom
VDC20. So yeah, I think it came out to 70 something bucks, which is,
not bad.
Yeah, not bad for a bunch of information.
The 9th edition will have AI apparently. Oh, goodness. How did the SVS Ultra Elevation speakers sound? You want the truth? I don't know if you can handle the truth. No, they sounded like speakers. It was very hard to. I was able to finagle them to. They're always nice. The Larry is always nice. Nick is always nice. I roll in with my thumb drive filled with Atmos mixes, and I get to play some. And it was funny because I was playing it. My brother and I were listening to it, and we were sitting in the sweet spot. And then Nick comes running in. He's like, "Is this your new one?" It was so cool, man. He was so excited to hear my new Atmos mix. At the end of the day, like, it's hard to tell in like critically listening to speakers in that kind of environment is very hard to tell. If anybody said, "Oh, the new SVS speaker sounded amazing," yeah, I wouldn't bet on that. just mainly because there's so much noise pollution bleeding from so many other booths around them. They don't even have a roof on their booth, so it's just 4 walls. So it's just to, it was, you're going, if you're going to the Florida Audio Show or Expona, you'll probably get a better representation, better demo than what I got at CES, due to the fact that it's just bonkers loud, and it's huge. It's huge, and it opens up to this convention center, But yeah, I would imagine they sound like SVS high channel. It's just bigger. I don't know if people need something ginormous like the ones that you have, Joe. Those Arendelles.
Yeah,
those things are like the size of my head. Like that's unless it's for a giant room. That and you need something for a bigger room, I can see that. But yeah, they sounded normal. Nothing crazy. Anybody have experience with Stark subwoofers? I do not.
Nope.
Okay, that was an easy one.
Here, I want to show this.
Okay.
So I like to listen to the podcast Audio Unleashed. I've mentioned them several times, Brent Butterworth and Dennis Berger. It's like one of the only ones that I listen to because I respect those guys and they speak the truth.
Yeah.
They don't care. Like, I want to hear from people who are kind of like us. I don't care. Like, I'm not kissing anybody's butt. You know what I mean? You just keep it real about what's good, what's not so good. Opinions, of course. So, hopefully backed by some kind of objective data of some sort. But, they just keep it real. Other guys on YouTube they're doing the YouTube thing, right? Well, I'm not hating on them. That's what YouTube wants, right? At the end of the day, for a lot of these guys, like, you have to understand that YouTube is their boss, right? The algorithm is their boss. The algorithm tells them what to make. Mm-hmm. And if you don't do what the boss says, you're going to get punished.
You get punished, yeah. Which means every one of your speaker review videos has to have the word best in the title. Right? It's the best bookshelf.
Yeah, so something to keep in mind,
best hour for home theater, blah, blah, blah.
Something to keep in mind when you're watching other reviewers is just that, the YouTube's boss is the advertiser, right? So whatever's good for the advertiser is what they want to serve you, right? And so if people are making videos that are good for advertisers, then that's what's going to get served to you. Mm-hmm. And not that necessarily is bad. Like, so people who review lots of products, they're probably going to be higher up because YouTube likes that, keep you in the buying mood, right? Yeah. Always something new, kind of not necessarily that they have to keep it always positive. They can still be real, but like frequent reviews. And that's just not what I do. Like, it's not what I do. I'm sorry. But, I'm kind of my own boss, right? I review things that I think are interesting. It's, stuff like that. And we have products and other stuff that we're kind of busy with. Yeah. So I don't think I'm a great YouTuber per se. I'm not doing the job of a YouTuber. Anyway, that leads me back to Audio Unleashed. They're kind of they're just doing what they like to do, talking about stuff they want to talk about, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, they were talking about this Wim amp.
Wim.
Yeah, dude. Uh-oh. And I was interested. This thing looks cool.
What is it? A little tiny thing there?
Yeah, look at this.
Like a Mac Mini with a knob on it.
This is what I've been asking for the longest time from all these companies. I asked NAD for it, but they had one, but it was like $800, too much, right?
How much is it?
So it's a little amp, right? That allows you to stream. Let's just look at the back. That'll tell you what you need to know.
Yeah, let's get around to that.
Control, of course, right? So you can stream to it. But look, HDMI ARC. Right? Yeah. So it's an amp also, so you can power your speakers. Right. It has DSP, so 10-band graphic EQ or 4-band parametric EQ. That's pretty cool. Look it has actual bass management where you can actually change the subwoofer crossover.
Huh. And the level. Okay. What else?
Remote. Look at this kind of DAC. What kind of DAC is this? like
the Halo music playing right now.
Look, it's small. I think it's like something like 50, 60 watts per channel, so nothing crazy.
All right, you still haven't told me the price yet.
Under $300.
$299.
Under $300 on Amazon. You can buy it right now on Amazon. Has Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi.
Can't see. It's too
Bluetooth.
small.
Oh yeah, this is pretty small. AirPlay 2, Chromecast, Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect. So it's basically kind of like what do you call it? What is that? Sonos Amp that they've had for a long time, but way less expensive. And it looks cool, man.
You just put in your own speakers, right?
Aluminum. This is what's up. So anyway, I think that's super cool for somebody who just wants to connect their bookshelf speakers to a TV, HDMI ARC, right? You don't even have to use the remote. Just use a TV remote. And yeah, look, I think that thing is super cool.
Randy, the cheap audio man, loves it apparently. And look at this. It's got a wife acceptance factor.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to review it. I don't like to review amps so much because it's either it works or it doesn't. And if it's noisy, I hate it. If it's not noisy, I'm cool with it.
You're like, well, the amp is amping, so
it's amping.
Maybe that's all it needs to do, right?
I'm impressed with the features, though. You know, the fact that it has all these things, amplifier, it's cool looking, looks like a little Mac Mini.
Yeah, the Mac Mini with a little. Oh, speaking of which, I was trying to edit my video, but I got back from that wedding last night. I was like, I'm going to sleep. The butt kicker video, you know, it looks like a Mac Mini that just yeah. I'm almost done with that. I still have so much CES footage. It's like, never ending. And then we're going to NAMM on Thursday. I'm also DJing on Thursday, so if anybody's in that downtown LA area, I'll be posting flyers on my.
Are you excited for NAMM or no?
Yeah, actually, Odyssey has some new headphones, new mixing headphones, like these Manny Marquines, the 500s, which are $1,700. They have a budget version that they're debuting at NAMM, which is like $300. So I'll be interested to try that out. Their marketing person said, if we're going to NAMM, come by the booth. And yeah, I'm excited to go see all the cool stuff for Dolby Atmos. Creation, mixing. There's a lot of new apps, and
because you're an content creator, a Dolby Atmos content creator.
Isn't that what it says on my Instagram? I think so. I think some people get because it says Dolby Atmos creator on it. They're like, just this guy did come up with it. No, that's not. No,
I'm excited to see this. We have an appointment with Cali Audio.
I still haven't got the email, so I hope you got an email. Maybe just walk over.
He forwarded it to you. Anyway, don't worry about it. We got an appointment with them.
Okay. We just walk in there and be
I'll just make a call real quick and
don't say. Sometimes these guys are in meetings because that's what they're there to do. They're there to wheel and deal on a large scale.
Well, we got Joe and Tell and Technodad, very important people.
Right. That's right.
You know what I mean? We're here to try to talk about their stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, they have these little, they call it LP UNF. So I've always liked their LP6 V2s. Excellent, affordable studio monitors.
Yeah.
I mean, forget studio monitors, just for like computers, for your computer, I think it's going to sound awesome. But they were big. They're big speakers to have on your desk. So these are much smaller. And yeah, they're using a lot of DSP to make these have some actual bass, 39 hertz. That's about the same as the bigger LP6 V2s. I think they're rated also at 37, 39-ish, 160 watts. So they're doing their thing in a much smaller package here. So technology, USB-C, Bluetooth. So it's pretty cool. They're going to have this over there, 40 watts channel. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so 39 hertz at minus 10 dB, 54 hertz. Okay.
That's why when you said 39, I was like, oh.
Damn. But they're cute little speakers, right? What's the driver size on this? It says
4.25, 5.25. I don't know.
Where does it say?
No, it doesn't say.
Hello.
Doesn't say.
What?
Crossover 1 inch. There, go up. 4.5. There.
4.5 inch. So, yeah, I'm excited to hear and check that out. What else do we got here? Oh, this is I have a question for you. So this is also from the Audio Unleashed podcast. They said they're talking about their top predictions in audio and video for 2024. You have any predictions? What do you think is going to happen in 2024 in the world of audio and video?
I predict that all these companies will come out with new shit that you don't need to buy. Yeah. Denon finally released their X6800H for what, $3,400. Essentially the same thing as last year's AVRs, just with 13 channels of processing. As far as speakers, I'm excited to hear what the SVS new SVS line sounds like. Those towers. Other than that, unless there's going to be some sort of huge change in audio codecs or a new one or something like that, I don't really see a whole lot of new stuff happening. I predict more of the same.
Okay.
Somebody said they're all going to use AI.
Yeah, AI. I would say that definitely there are going to be people copying this Wim amp thing. It sounds like Winamp. Remember Winamp? I think they're going to be copying that, which it makes total sense. I always said, if you can have HDMI ARC and all these channels in a soundbar, why can't you have that in a preamp or a small Class D amplifier where you can plug in your own speakers? It doesn't make sense why they don't already have that. So this is a 2-channel version. I would love to see 7.1.4, 11 channels would be kind of cool. Just the same idea though. HDMI ARC. I'd love to see that. I don't think it's going to happen this year, right? But I think you're going to start seeing a lot of these 2-channel ones, most likely. What else we got? Prediction 2024. Magic Bean's going to blow up.
Yep. It's going to make it too.
Here's what's going to happen with Magic Beans. They're going to say, damn, he was right. This thing is correct. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's not like, oh yeah, it sounds good. No, it does it the right way. I think it's going to be a big year for Magic Beans. And so, yeah, we're working actually also on, I want to get it working on some JL audio stuff. They have stuff for car audio and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. They have a software called Tune, and I would like for it to work on there. That might be interesting also. So yeah, we're working, and it's so close. It's all on me actually, because I have to put it on the App Store and we have to make sure the website's all ready to go. So it's all on me. There's no excuse actually.
Yeah,
it's just all on me, and I'm not, it's my baby, so I'm afraid to just put it out there if it's not like up to my standard, right? It's like, they always say perfection is the enemy of like good enough kind of thing.
Or other, yeah.
But that's true. What is it?
I don't know. All right, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, but that is true. But there's also some truth to the fact that you only get one chance to make a first impression, right? So I don't want to be like these TV companies that come out, stuff is broken. Yeah, I'm gonna fix it later. Don't worry, I promise. We're gonna fix it. We're working on it. No. I want it to come out and people be like, damn, sounds awesome. This works. My system sounds great. That's what I want. So that's the reason, want to make a good first impression, because I'm sure people are going to be reviewing it.
Yeah.
So it needs to work. That's my prediction. What else we got? How about this? What are some of your favorite products from 2023? Now that we're in the new year, do you remember what you reviewed and what you liked?
I haven't reviewed it, but the HiFi Rose 150B, I think, or S. HiFi Rose 150. That's one sexy thing. It's over here. I gotta unbox it. I just been so busy with the making Magic Beans videos, and of course CES, and hopefully I'll get into that in the beginning of February because I want to use it essentially, but I can't unbox it with that. I can't use it without shooting.
You want it in the new place, huh?
What's up?
In the new spot,
new place. Yeah, but you know, we're just gonna have to wait on the new spot.
Right.
Yeah, in 2024, I know, you know, there's gonna be a lot happening here in Los Angeles area because you know me and the mad scientists over there got something cooking.
Yeah,
you know, we got our beakers out and mixing things up, and it's gonna blow up.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Scott and Chris Wyndham. They're part of the Daily HiFi Crew. You notice a little logo next to their name, the HiFi logo.
Ike's in here too. He's got
Ike's in here. What's up, Ike?
Billy.
It's hard to keep up with this and all. Who else? Yeah, we gotta. If you see that next to their name, that means you're part of the Daily HiFi Crew, and you could be part of the crew also. crew.dailyhifi.com, in case you don't already know. But yeah, so favorite products. You know what I realized? I didn't review very many products.
Yeah,
and we've just been busy making products.
Yeah, so, we're making products. You know,
but one of my favorite products that I reviewed recently was just that Kanto Aura. This thing, a little tiny desktop speaker.
Oh, that thing,
$350, and it sounds really good. So I think this is gonna compete with that Cali Audio one.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, small speaker with like surprising bass. Look at how tiny they are.
Yeah, they're small. They are very, very small. I was so surprised.
That's what you want for a desk, right?
And
it's exciting to me just because I think people can get really good sound, and people are at their computers, right? So if you're near your computer, you're playing some music, and it sounds really good, then I think it might get you into audio, right? Yeah. These are $350, so they're a little more expensive, but I was really impressed with those. What else? The Speedwoofer 12S, which Aaron just reviewed, the subwoofer.
Yeah,
I was impressed with those. I tend to go more towards like high value stuff where it's lower cost but ton of value. And so that's one of those products, the Speedwoofer 12S. What else? The BenQ HT4550, the projector that I'm currently using that I had a problem with.
But it got broke.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I think it looks really good. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Colors, all the features, it just looks really great.
Colors look good, bro.
Of course, the black levels aren't the craziest, but dude, I'm very happy with that projector when it's working. If you have work,
it works every time.
Yes. And then one thing that's not even audio video related necessarily is just this thing.
Oh, dude.
DJI Pocket 3. So good.
That thing. I got things. Fantastic.
With the little DJI
microphone, yeah.
Yeah. So how about this? What was your least favorite product?
Dude, I'm looking at my channel right now and I'm like, I don't think I reviewed a whole lot of stuff.
You didn't review anything?
Let's see. From CES last year, the Odyssey headphones, which I like. I love these guys. But you know, $1,700 is pretty rough for I mean, they're studio headphones. The Lance AV10, it works.
What's your there's nothing that you like really didn't like very much?
I mean, and then I made a bunch of videos on how to use the spatial audio calibration toolkit. Then here, do you want to I didn't even think about it. Let's just show everybody. Okay. Now.
All right, everybody. I got
it. It's a old video. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Yeah, so from CES, 11 months ago. Yeah, not a whole lot of front wide speakers, menu walkthrough, the Denon, AV10 is cool. I got a little drone. My NOS video. Oh yeah, I was shopping for a new subwoofer, and that all kind of like fell apart when I had to move. Yeah, no, I don't. The Magnetar, I had to leave that, and then we get into Audio Advice Live stuff. And then here, you guys talk about my divorce and having to move, and then it's just I don't really.
So there's nothing you didn't like, huh?
I mean, I like the fact that these monolith speakers were awesome.
Yeah.
For the price I got them at. What did I not like? Did I not like anything? These Sonos Faber Stradivari G2 had way more bass than those new ones that I just listened to. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I didn't like that Marantz has 17 channels of processing, and then their amp only has 16 amp channels. That seems like a big missed opportunity there to make it a complete setup. The Nakamichi contacted me saying in December, asking where they should send it. I said, well, hold on, I don't have a place to put it. So hopefully, once we get that spot, then that'll come through. Other than that, what other products? Oh, my speaker on a stick is fantastic. And everything.
It's tough because like we were saying earlier, I don't care to upload like a ton of videos. I'm just kind of reviewing stuff that's interesting. So if something doesn't sound interesting to me already, I just don't ask for it. I did review this Monoprice HDMI 7.1 audio extractor. So I have a deal with Monoprice that they pay me, and I review something of theirs every month, right? But the deal is I get to say whatever I want about it. So this is one of those cases. They sent me this HDMI 7.1 extractor, and I thought it would be cool just because like there are more like Class D amps that are 5-channel, 4-channel, stuff like that. So I thought, man, that would be cool if you could just use this 7.1 extractor, use a cheap Class D amp, and then you kind of have like a little mini AVR setup. It didn't work out like that.
Well, here,
because it doesn't decode anything, right? So if the thing's not in 7.1, you're not gonna get 7.1. So it's kind of my fault that my expectations were that, oh, you could totally use this as a cheap AVR replacement, and didn't happen. It does what it's supposed to do, but yeah, just kind of disappointed.
Can you see this in the thing? What is that in the background? What do you see there?
As a speaker on a stick.
So I was this DJ, and so I forget, maybe True Voice of Reason, it was you, I'm not sure, but somebody's like, hey, I see the speaker on a stick in the background. Yeah, man, I'm not playing. Like, it's there. They're up. All 4 of them are up. I haven't put them down. They haven't fallen over. Like all the things people were laughing about. These things actually work.
Yep.
Silly nonsense works.
Hey, we got to make that video where we go and test out 6 height channels, 6 versus 4.
Okay.
One of these days.
Yeah,
maybe after NAMM sometime.
I don't have like room here really for that, but we can figure something out.
It's for the people.
It's for the people.
It's for you guys.
It's for the people. All right, let's get into some more of these questions. Was there any new projectors introduced at CES? Yes, there were a whole ton from a bunch of different manufacturers. Like AWOL had some, Hisense had some, but those are like USTs. If you're talking about projectors, regular throw projectors for a home theater, nothing that I saw or heard of. So yeah, there's that. Can you explain the difference between Odyssey distance settings versus Dirac distance settings? Why did Dirac put subwoofer delay on 0 milliseconds while speakers have a distance set more than the physical distance?
That's easy.
I think that's that one. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking it's a reference, right? If they're doing the subwoofer first, and then they're adding more delay to the main speakers to to time alignment with the subs. That's
well, the subs are typically the things that have the most delay, because subs typically have DSP. You have a decent sub, it probably has some DSP in there, and the DSP adds delay. So that is the reference, right? You have to use the slowest, time wise.
So why not make it a sub, right?
So that's 0 milliseconds. You can't do negative milliseconds, right?
Sure. No.
So if that's 0, then you can add delay to everything else so that it matches the delay of the sub. Right? It works that way. So I think Odyssey does the same thing. So the distance that they set for the sub is further. So I think the main difference is Odyssey goes based on distance, whereas Dirac goes based on time, milliseconds. But they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Right? You can use one or the other. So by setting something further in Odyssey, right, it's further than the actual physical location. So if you have a sub with DSP, if you notice, let's say if it's 10 feet away, it's not going to say 10 feet. It's going to say 15 feet or, something further. And that's the same as delaying the other speakers more.
Yeah.
Right? Just same thing, two different ways to do it. What else?
Here's the easy, quick one. Personal one. Question for you both. What was your first pair of speakers, brand, and model?
All right. Go ahead.
I pulled them up on here already.
Do you remember?
Of course. They're the JBL 4208s. Here they are.
Yeah, you got some nice ones already. That was your first ones?
Yeah. Well, this is the first system put together. This was like middle. Yeah, this was my first ones. Otherwise, it'd be like, whatever my dad had going on.
You never had an Iowa stereo or like Sony mini stereo? Baller.
My dad had a Bang & Olufsen Nakamichi thing in here, bro. What are you talking about? I grew up in hi-fi sound. I had an audiophile as a dad. What are you talking about? And back then, it was Macintosh, Nakamichi, and Bang & Olufsen. No matter what. And we're talking about I was 6 years old.
I'm trying to find my
84. So mid 80s. That's what it was. So then this I got in the mid 90s when I was a teenager. And we went and listened to a bunch of speakers, and this is what we settled on: the 4208, which were the 8-inch versions. They had so these were like 75 watts, 8 ohms, and yeah, this is where this is it.
That's a pretty nice speaker to start with.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So my first speakers that I purchased were, I think it was like, I wanted the Sony like mini, like, the mini thing when it had the CD player and all that stuff. But it was like a little bit too much. So I got one from, I think it was like Price Club, or some weird spot that was like a Craig stereo. Craig, is that brand even around? Craig?
No, dude.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
No, but it sounds shady, bro. Craig.
You never seen Craig, bro?
No, I'm looking it up now. Craig.
Anyway,
stereo.
Ew, it sucked.
Craig Electronics. I don't know. No, I don't know.
These guys know. You guys know. They know about Craig.
Craig stereo.
I know Craig. See, Chris Wyndham knows Craig. But and then after that, like, I was like, okay, these are not so good. And I ended up getting a Kenwood Dolby Pro Logic receiver, and I got these speakers from Circuit City here. These right here. Mine were black. So I had a 8-inch. Look at that. That's a horrible design. It's like an 8-inch, and then like this tweeter. But look at this. You see these holes?
Yeah.
That's for the grill to go on, right?
Yeah.
But if you take off the grill, and these air comes out of these.
What?
They're not sealed. Like air will come out of them.
They're like little parts. So what if you have the grill on and some big bass hit comes? Does it just pop the grill right off because of the air?
Nah, it was just I think you probably probably get air leakage to come out of there, but that's a speaker. That's a speaker right there.
Yeah,
it's just what I could afford. You know what I mean?
What was it tuned at?
What was it tuned at? I don't know, man. I think I ended up modifying these and like putting a car audio tweeter, something. I don't know, some ghetto thing that I did. But hey, it is what it is.
Oh, it's fine. That's it. That's it. All right, Chris. Hope you like that jaunt down memory lane. All right, Tim Todd asks, floor standing speaker question. Martin Logan Motion XTF200 versus XTF100 versus multi-purpose use Atmos or 3D stereo music TV. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, what are these look like? XTF Martin Logan FTX 100. Okay, let's get this on the screen here.
I don't know any of these speakers.
Oh, is this a new lineup? Legendary Martin Logan sound. Look at them.
They look cool.
They look nice.
Yeah, it's tough for me to make any type of recommendation if I haven't actually heard the speaker, tested it, or anything like that. Because like, all I can say is it looks cool.
All right. Okay, here. Let's spec list. Can you see all this? Is this showing?
Okay. All right. So just based on specs, though.
Okay. Frequency response 31 to 25K. To 20 to 450 watts. Sensitivities. Nice. Oh, 4 ohms. Okay.
Okay.
Crossover frequency 2600 to 80. Okay. High frequency driver. That's that folded motion tweeter. You've got 6.5 inch, and then you've got 3 6.5 inch for the low end. Okay. All right. So that was that one. And let's go to, what was the other one? X200, right? So shop our speakers. Which one is it? Oh, son of a bitch. Here it is. Oh, I bet you these are all 8-inch woofers. I think that's what the difference is. Let's see. Oh, we're going down to 27 hertz. Essentially, everything's the same there. Oh no, yeah, 3 8-inch woofers. So you're just getting more low end extension.
You know what's tough about these is sometimes the different models sound different.
They would, yeah.
Like I'm talking about like not just more bass, but sometimes they just tonally sound different. You wouldn't expect it to, right? Because you're like, oh, this one just has a bigger driver, but sometimes directivity is different, and so it's really tough to tell unless you get somebody putting these, kind of measuring them. You got to measure them and find the directivity on those
ones. They
do look cool though.
Yeah.
Here's a super chat.
Okay.
I don't know how to say your name.
Bhavishya Chandra.
Yes, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
And he asks, do you still have your 778? Yes, I do. I love mine. Wondering if I should upgrade to separates with B&W 6 Series or 603 5.1. Again, those aren't speakers that I've reviewed, but I would say, if you love Bowers and Wilkins, I don't think anybody's going to talk you out of it. But
no, he's just saying, should he upgrade to separates? Like,
okay. So he has those,
yeah,
and he wants to upgrade to separate, like a separate amp.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it is.
So the Bowers and Wilkins 6 Series, I guess the question would just be, do you feel like it's not playing loud enough? Do you feel like you're reaching the limits, like it sounds maybe compressed, or you're hearing distortion? If not,
I mean, they aren't the easiest speakers to drive though, B&Ws. So
yeah, these are the power on this is pretty clean though. So I think they're using Class D amps on here. So
okay.
I like the amps built into this thing. I used to have mine connected to a Parasound A52 Plus.
Yep.
Just because it was there, right? Did I hear a huge difference moving to A52 Plus from the T778? No, not really. Yeah. I mean, I had the ELAC, what was it? Unify UB5s, right? Those are really inefficient speakers. Very, very inefficient. And it's not like I heard a huge difference, but my room wasn't a huge room either. So it's all dependent on whether you feel like you're reaching the limitations. I don't know, man. I I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're using a sub and you're not playing them super loud, you may not be reaching the limits of the amplifiers.
Right.
And it's tough to tell without knowing more information about the room size and how loud you want to play it. Right. I just hesitate to say, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
You're gonna notice a huge difference because it's case by case.
It's more of a headroom thing. I think, you know, big dynamic shifts in your content, whether it's music or movies. That's when you're. But I was gonna say that's where you would notice it the most. But unless you have like a A/B, and you could switch it on and off real quick, like it would be hard to tell. It would be hard to tell if the power amp is actually giving you a better experience.
Yeah.
Is there a placebo effect happening? Is there
Yeah.
all these things are factors, right? I know I've made plenty of videos about, yes, you should have a power amplifier because yes, I want to make sure that I'm guaranteeing 140 watts per channel to my front stage at least. Right. Yeah. So there's
a quick test would be to, I assume you have a sub in a home theater situation, turn off your sub and have your crossover set the way you normally have them, let's say 80 hertz, and play some content. Play it loud, right? Even louder than you'd normally play it. And see if it sounds good. Do you hear any audible distortion? Right? Does it sound like it's compressing? You know, signs that your amplifier is not, up to snuff.
Up to snuff.
And if you're hearing like, oh, I think they can sound better, then take a look. Thanks, Scott. Says join us if you haven't.
Yep.
Right.
Look at Chris, I just ordered the Win Pro Plus 15% off Amazon deal.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Bring that up.
Look at that. You mentioned it once, Joe.
Yeah, maybe he bought it before I mentioned it, but I'm curious about that thing. I don't know. I don't want to review it though.
Yeah.
I just want one. I want one, but I don't want to review it.
It's like that. It's like that Hi-Fi Rose 150 because it's $5,000. I kind of want to buy it. I want it. What is my review going to be? This thing is awesome. You should get one if you could afford it. Yeah. I mean, they have a smaller version, the RS250, which is $2,500. Still very expensive. But the one thing I really like about it is that it has an app called RoseTube. What is RoseTube, you may ask? It's YouTube on the Hi-Fi Rose, because there's a lot of things on YouTube that live on YouTube, meaning music.
Yeah.
That is only on YouTube, and you can't find it anywhere else. And like, I know all these hi-fi guys, I'm not listening to anything on YouTube, right? Because that's how they talk in my mind. But if that's the only place to get that, and you like that song or whatever the situation is, you can actually play that. So you don't have to have a computer, or you don't have to have your Apple TV. It's still in this, media player that can play, your Qobuz, your, whatever, Tidal, all that stuff. But along with that, this RoseTube, and it also has an HDMI out, so you can connect it to a TV if you really want to. But all you need to do is just turn on the receiver, and then done. You control it all through that sexy little touchscreen. So I have a feeling it's going to be a very positive review, because I want one of those things, Yeah. So
I want one too, actually.
Yeah.
I just want everything.
Yeah.
I want it all just because it looks super cool. Send me one of those. I think Aaron's going to have those guys send me that Wharfdale one that he really likes.
Oh, yeah? Which Wharfdale?
Aura 2 or something like that.
Oh,
Aura.
Okay.
Here's a question from our Daily HiFi Crew messenger chat.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so
there's some weird questions in there. So what are we?
This one's pretty good.
Okay.
The question was, what is something that you wish you knew about when you first started out in audio? Let's just say either 2-channel, home theater. What's something you wish you knew before you started buying all kinds of stuff?
I wish I knew I shouldn't listen to any salesperson and trust my own ears. I would have saved a bunch of money.
Okay. Any purchasing advice, like things you would have purchased first, or stuff that you would have done?
I mean, like it was with the car audio stuff specifically. They were like, "Oh no, you need to have this electronic crossover." So then I did that, and then the cables, they added those in, and then the install for that. Whereas I could have just used a passive one in the Alpine amplifier. Like it was just, I didn't know. I wasn't well versed in the equipment to know, and so that was an extra like $300.
Yeah,
you know, and so
they did get you some JL audio, so that was a good.
No, this was before the jails. This is like before. This is then all that happened later.
So another super chat. Thank you for your support again. He said that was a useful answer. Thank you for saving me money. I rarely play beyond 85 dB anyway. Yeah, that's really the trick. You know what I mean? And what I've done tests where I want to see how much power I'm actually drawing from the amplifiers. And I've plugged it into this thing that shows me how much power I'm drawing. It's not as much as people think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm betting that a speaker played at loud volume is going to start compressing earlier than most AVRs that are crossed over at 80 hertz.
Yeah.
It depends. You know, there might be some really, really hard to drive speakers, and if you have a huge room where that's not the case. But case by case, and hopefully that did save you money. Yeah, spend it on something else. Yeah. So back to the question about what's something I wish I knew starting out. And I think I wish I would have known about getting a UMic1, REW, and being able to measure stuff and actually do a better job of calibrating. Because I bought, I think what was the Denon at the time? 4000 W. I don't know.
Oh, that one.
4000.
I don't know.
4000 W. I don't remember what the name was. X4000. Was it X4000? Anyway, I bought that, and then I'm like, oh, because it has Odyssey X32, right?
Yeah.
So I just assumed like that's the top one. I was so pumped to get that, and like, man, it's gonna make my system sound awesome. You know, yeah. I don't think it does. I don't think it does automatically make your all systems sound awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes it sound worse, right? But that's
we wouldn't know that unless like you were like.
I'm just saying. I would say don't rely on those things. You know, if you have a UMic1, you can actually see, is this doing what it's supposed to do? Does it sound better? You know, just don't assume that everything automatic is going to make everything sound better, right? That's one thing. Maybe I would have wanted to get a mini DSP 2x4 HD earlier, right? If I knew how to tune subs. I know that stuff is more advanced, but trust me, it pays off to kind of learn that so you can verify, right?
Yeah.
You can verify whether the stuff is doing what it's supposed to do and whether it's making it sound better or worse. The other thing I would say is if I were to buy speakers again, I would look at the directivity. When you see these measurements on, you know, Audio Science Review or on Aaron's stuff, for the most part, most people are looking at the frequency response.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just one aspect of a speaker. Directivity is, what does it sound like once you start going around the speaker? Does it change, right? From like being wide to narrow to wide? Like, is it a constant, width? You know, you want good directivity basically. And the reason being is if there are directivity mismatches, right? Where let's say the woofer is playing wide and then it gets narrow and all this weird stuff is happening. You cannot fix that with EQ. There's no EQ that can fix that issue. And a lot of it is with the cabinet design. A lot of it is where they choose to cross over. All things that are very difficult to change. But if you get a speaker with a very good directivity, most of the time it also has good frequency response because whoever designed it probably knows to make a good response. But let's say you find a speaker that has good directivity, but a bad frequency response. And if it's cheap because maybe people say it sucks or whatever, that is an EQable speaker for the most part.
You can do something about it.
You can do something about that. And that's one thing I would wish that other people knew is really start looking at the directivity, right? Focus less on the actual frequency response, unless it's horrible. Because if it's horrible, that means like, yeah, you may be able to EQ it, but you may have to boost the treble 6 dB, in which case, like, the tweeter might not like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it can't be horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a smooth directivity, that's, I think, maybe more important if you have an ability to DSP your system. That's it. What else we got? Other super chats?
Some of the answers. I like this one. I wish I never watched self-proclaimed audio files to do a speaker review. Good one, Marv. Good one. A couple others. No, that we already got through that. General question: 15 by 20 room, 4 15-inch subs. Where to place without measurements? One in each corner. I guess he's just
good. That's a good guess.
Guess
right?
Yeah, right.
If I had to guess, the two guesses, I always say in the corners, because you get the most, room gain, and then whatever resonance and issues that you have, then EQ them as a sum response. If you want to put a mid wall, it gives you the best seat to seat consistency, right? Like, so if you were to be able to put all of them in the middle, which is hard if you have a TV, like,
yeah,
you can't just put a sub in the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you need to. I mean, you have a center channel too. So you got to deal with that.
Yeah. So but basically, corners are probably a good place to start.
Your best bet.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about like, pull them away from the corner. Just EQ, get as much room gain and as much SPL as you can. Hopefully, it's not shaking all kinds of crap in your room. Use some blue tack. All right, pin those things down. But yeah, that's my recommendation.
Yeah. Sorry. Chuck with the super chat.
Thank you, Chuck.
Appreciate you, Chuck. Do you have a question or something?
Yeah. If you have a question, we'll make sure to answer it. Thank you again, Chuck.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Mike Jerome says, will Magic Beans make your front speakers? Oh, well, maybe I got to say this in the accent. Will Magic Beans make your front speakers?
Why'd you say Mike Jerome like it was like Mike Jones? Mike Jerome. Why'd you say it like that?
Because I don't know, dude. I don't know half the things. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just rolling with it, man. Like shit. Mike Jerome. Will Magic Beans make your front speakers? If one is close to a wall and the other speaker is not, will it be smart enough to make it sound the same? Yes. How do I know this? Well, this is exactly what happened here. If you watched my video on doing Magic Beans myself, or the one when Joe was here as well, there's one I'm looking at right now. There's a speaker against the wall, and then there's a speaker that's not against the wall. Essentially, there's 3 feet back on this one. That one's maybe like 1 foot back, and you can actually see the response from front left and front right, and you can tell that they're different. Right? One has a boost in the low end, one has a cut in the low end. So I would imagine the left is the one with the cut, and the boost is the one that's not near a boundary. So you don't have that boundary gain. So yes, it is smart like that. It is AI beans.
Do they sound similar? Like after you do it, does it sound like, oh man, these speakers sound all so different?
No. They sound pretty cohesive. They sound
yeah, definitely is. And what do I want to say? If you have somebody who's standing closer to you and one who's further from, same person is talking to you and they're further away, do they still sound like the same person to you? I would say yes. Right? There's no EQ that I have to do to this person. So
now you're messing with
I don't want to. It works. Let's just say that. I don't want to go into that because I can go into great detail about why and how and all that, but not today.
I got
what is Reverend Slim saying here? He's saying, I have one speaker near a doorway and one near a window, and Magic Beans match them up pretty well in practice. Okay. Yeah. Reverend Slim is one of the private beta testers, so he gets a chance to check it out. Yeah. I think that's it. We're at about an hour and a half. We should probably jump into the after show and hang out with these guys. What do you say?
Yeah, I got something special to tell Chuck. I got some pictures to show you guys about.
Oh, okay. Let's see them.
So we can't talk about here. Okay, so anything else you want to add? I am excited. Oh, here Chuck has his question here. I have
there we go.
I have Paradigm 100 V2s as my mains, 60 V2s as my front wides. Room is very wide, 33 foot. Woo! In your opinion, should I tow in my mains even though I have front wides? How far back are you sitting from your front? It's 33 feet by what? Like what? I don't know. I mean, the further you sit back, the less you would want to tow in, is what I would say.
Yeah. You know, you also have to remember that your front wides aren't on all the time. So that means if you're listening to stereo content, you also want that to sound good.
9 foot back. 9 feet back. Okay.
9 feet back. I will just imagine you'd have to know what the dispersion pattern is of those speakers. So if there's some spinorama data, it'll show you like, you know, how wide the dispersion pattern is. And I will just try to think about them as like light flashlights, right? So if it comes out and it's 40 degrees, just imagine 40 degrees coming out. Make sure that you're somewhere within that 40 degrees, right? So if you're not in that sweet spot, then you may want to angle them so you are within that sweet spot. But also, if you have front wides, make sure that whatever the dispersion pattern is on those, right, is still hitting your area. So generally, you just want to be somewhere within what they call the listening window, right? So just think about it like that, where there's an optimal response. Because as you start getting further off axis, then the higher frequencies will drop off, right? And it might not sound right. So you want to be in the best possible location for your speakers. And if you have multiple seats, just try to think about them as light, right? You want to cover as many seats as you possibly care about. Make sure that you cover yours, of course. And that's it. Yeah. I don't think it has so much to do with whether you have front wides or not. You know, you want each speaker individually to be pointed optimally, I would say. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. Should we take off now, Jana?
Yeah. My mom just got home too.
All right.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you guys for hanging out. We have let's do some things here. Make sure you go to the shop and pick up some merch. Go to shop.dailyhifi.com. That helps out the channel and pays for our editor, Tim, who does a fantastic job of what he does. If you like to listen to the podcast and not watch me eat on camera, go to anchor.fm/dailyhifi for that. And let's see, I think there's and then the crew.dailyhifi.com to jump into the after show, which is where Joe and I are headed right now. And on behalf of myself and Joe and Mr. Aaron, who is having a Benihana moment somewhere in Alabama, thank you guys for hanging out. We do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. It is the Daily HiFi podcast here on the Daily HiFi YouTube channel. If you're watching on the replay, make sure to subscribe to the channel and be here for the show so you can ask questions like everybody else and, have a good time, because that's what we're about. We're about having fun. So,
yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Always fun.
Yeah. See you next week, guys.